Hey there, it's Adam from Fiends here, and this week I am reviewing Chaos on Deponia for the PC. Now, point-and-click adventure games run through my blood more than I'd care to admit. As a young kid, I'd always watch my stepmom tackle the Monkey Island games on the Amiga, and I'd take great delight in the wonderful world and the atmosphere they portrayed, and, chuckling at the fantastic humour. And as I grew older, I would also find joy in the cartoony world of other classics such as Full Throttle and Broken Sword. Most recently, the genre has been reignited thanks to Telltale Games' Sam & Max franchise, and of course The Walking Dead. Chaos on Deponia establishes itself firmly in the same vein as the hallowed Monkey Island games in terms of both tone, atmosphere, and complexity of the challenges laid out before you. It doesn't just offer an entertaining diversion for a few hours, it envelopes you in a light, bright, brilliantly realised world that is a breath of fresh air in an age of mottled brown first-person shooters. Chaos on Deponia is the second game in a trilogy which actually started with August 2012's Deponia. You play Rufus, an inhabitant of a junk world where the upper classes reside high in floating cities, whilst the rest of the population slum it on the garbage-filled lands and seas. Your character is an arrogant inventor of ridiculous contraptions and contrivances that occasionally, and more through sheer luck than anything else, work. The recap of the first game is a little scattershot, and I felt I only picked up the detail once I'd played through a fair few hours of this second title. That all said though, it's a testament to how much I enjoyed Chaos on Deponia that despite not having played the first title, I've actually purchased it from Steam and I will be making sure that I have the third title on order as soon as it comes out. So let's get down to the gameplay. It provides an engaging cerebral workout where common sense, experimentation and eureka moments all help you to move through the traditional point-and-click puzzle-solving challenges. There is a really nice mix of both the delightfully obvious things that you'll need to do, then there's some that require a little bit more thought, and then there are others which are just downright baffling. But once the solution is laid out, it never feels obtuse or illogical. The game starts off with a very enjoyable opening sequence where you cause a comical series of misfortunes to a poor bird as you go about the very simple challenge of just trying to pick up a hammer. This was an absolutely hilarious opener to Chaos on Deponia and it sets the tone perfectly for the rest of the game. Shortly after, you're thrust into one of the junkyard port towns where the game really opens up. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to remember exactly what you are doing or you need to do, but that's also a good testament to how open the gameplay feels. Traipsing through the town with its cast of colourful and eclectic characters was one of the many pleasant reminders of the earlier Monkey Island games. Mini-games are neatly interspersed throughout the levels and add an extra layer of gameplay. However, these can be skipped over if they prove too much of a challenge, which is absolutely ideal for those who are more interested in absorbing the world and the storyline, rather than spending lots of time trying to work out a puzzle sequence. Even during moments where I became really stuck, I never got too frustrated thanks to the ability to double-click from one screen to the next, which avoids having to watch your character walk from one side of the screen to the other all the time. This means that you can traverse the game areas quite quickly. Even long periods of travelling back and forth whilst you try and work out a solution to a problem never becomes patience-shatteringly painful. Chaos on Deponia, despite being the second title in the trilogy, takes great care to welcome even newcomers of the series to both the game world and even the genre itself, promising a rewarding challenge for those that want it and as little pain as possible for those that don't. Graphically, the game features some of the richest artwork I've seen in a long time. A wide colour palette and fine details adorn each screen, making progress a joyful delight as you get to admire the wonderful artistry and inhabiting characters. Having a Germanic background, the art style itself is a very abstract blend of European oddness. Some characters look like they wouldn't look out of place in Belleville Rendezvous, whilst others have a more conventional appearance of a Saturday morning kids cartoon character. The Deponian world is brilliantly realised as a series of townships, buildings and interiors that have been constructed from recycled junk, which is reflected by the background artwork and the attention to detail. At no point do you feel like anything has been rushed in the production of this game. Each screen is unique and it has the same level of care and attention lavished on it as the previous ones. The characters are wonderfully realised. Although that said, their animation isn't fluid, but I didn't find that particularly bothersome. The lack of voice syncing was a bit of a distraction during the moments where you see the characters up close during the cutscenes, and it's only here where the artistic quality takes a minor dip, as these appear to be blown up from the normal character models that you control rather than original standalone artwork. Underpinning the wonderful visuals is an equally bright and whimsical score that's enjoyable and never too repetitious. The vocal work on the whole is largely excellent, with dialogue not suffering as a result of the translation over from German to English. Some of the more overexcited moments of line delivery from Rufus does make the performance less convincing and slightly theatrical, the opening recap from the first game being a prime example of this, but otherwise the eccentric cast of characters are all given a unique voice with great delivery and comedic timing. Chaos on Deponia should be an essential purchase for Monkey Island fans, a definite purchase for point-and-click adventure fans, and a recommended purchase for everyone else. The beautifully drawn world serves up curious but lovable characters. An entertaining story is glossed with many amusing moments, and the gameplay is infused with brain-racking puzzles that challenge but don't frustrate. The Deponia series may not resuscitate the point-and-click genre into mainstream popularity, unlike The Walking Dead, but it does serve as a very strong reminder as to how good they were back in their 90s heyday and how great they can be again. So overall, it's an 8.5 out of 10 from Games Fiends. Definitely a recommended purchase, but make sure you pick up the first title as well. Anyway, this is Adam from Games Fiends, and I'll see you all next time.